evening, folks. Welcome to the town board meeting tonight. We call the meeting to order. Town of Palmyra Town Board meeting Monday, December 9th, 2024, 7 p.m. at the Palmyra Town Hall, W1125, Highway 106, Palmyra, Wisconsin. We're starting at 7 p.m. Certification of compliance with open meetings law.
Yes, I did post on the website and on the board.
Roll call.
Gajewski.
Here.
Martins.
Here.
Sauter.
Here. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Got a little statement to make. Folks, 2 meetings ago, I made a statement regarding a petition Bonnie Wilson submitted to the town board requesting detachment of all land owned by the town, including the airport and the town hall. I received numerous phone calls from town residents who interpreted the petition the same way as I did. And the general consensus of the phone calls was that the petition was asking the town board to pursue detachment of all original annex land, including the airport and the town hall. There was a general misunderstanding of the scope of this petition. I received communications from Bonnie Wilson clarifying the petition and requesting detachment of the airport and the town hall. I would emphasize, however, this petition is the idea and activity of Bonnie Wilson, and that the town board had no direct involvement whatsoever. Bonnie Wilson has asked me to clarify this issue, and if you have any questions, please let me know. The second statement I'm going to make is that I really appreciate all the electors that came out for our November meeting that are supporting the township of Palmyra and wanting to take care of the township. And most of all, I would like to thank the 2 gentlemen here and the fine lady sitting at the end of the table. Approval of town board minutes from 9/11/24, 9/23/24, 9/25/24, 9/29/24, 10/2/24, and 10/9/24.
I make a motion that we approve the meetings as read.
Motion's made to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approved payment of bills as presented. Roll call vote.
The bills are Brightspeed, $118.90. We Energies, $175.93. Farner Asphalt Sealers, $16,035.25. Northwest Services, $17,798.55. Lang Enterprises, $112.20. Susan Halser, $45. Mark Montgomery, $36. Terry Orchard, $45. Terry Orchard, $424.30. Jackie Rowland, $84. Josh Gajewski, $230.87. Rob Martins, $230.87. Frank Sauter, $369.40. Palmyra Community Band, $100. American Legion, $200. LRS, $9,838.40. And Jefferson County Treasurer, $3.72.
Motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Sorry. Okay, roll call vote to approve.
Gajewski.
Aye.
Martins.
Aye.
Sauter.
Aye. Public comment. We've got 2 people listed. Please stand up. State your name and address, please. Give you 2 minutes.
We got.
Did you have to sign up for it?
Yes.
Oh, you had to sign up for it? Oh, I didn't know that. How do you know that?
Like coming to the
You can
meeting.
Always
just add
over
it.
there to be
You
signed
can
up
add
for.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
normally, it's okay.
I didn't see it.
We can let her sign up
Can I
right
sign
there.
up?
Okay, if you want to come up here and sign up, please.
Sure.
Is there anyone else that wanted to sign up that missed it?
Thank you. I apologize.
It's all right. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, again, Bonnie Wilson,
Okay, Bonnie Wilson, W1269 State Road 59. I appreciate your honoring my request to issue a correction on the statement you made last month. When Rob asked you, did that reference all land prior to annexation? The word prior was not in the petition at all. It simply stated town-owned property. At the previous meeting before that, 2 meetings ago, when you here, the board members were talking about how frustrating the new law on how to tax hangars was creating issues, and you seemed really concerned about it, dealing with the village, how were you going to handle it? And I said, simply made the suggestion, why don't you seek detachment so you don't have to deal with the village and the issues? Frank, you said, I wish I could wave a wand and get the airport back into the town. And then you added, I don't think anybody would disagree with you. So I felt like, well, okay, and it wasn't just me, there were 5 of us who went and canvassed people and decided, let's get a show of support to support you to go and seek that detachment. Josh was real good about, he wrote down at the next meeting all the petition number, or the parcel numbers. So he specified and clarified what the petition was about. We got 115 names of people who said, yeah. One person said, who owns the airport? I said, the town does. She said, give me a pen. That's all she needed to know. If the property that you own generates revenue, don't you think you should get the revenue?
Amen.
And that's what the petition was a show of support. And for you to come out and try to disgrade it was a little bit, disheartening. The other thing was when you also responded to Terry Orchard's public comment on the lawsuit. Instead of just saying simply, you can go and see it on public records, you had to put out names, and you put out my name again, and 3 other people as witnesses. Anybody at a meeting when the infraction occurred can be a potential witness. And you did not name all the witnesses, but you had to make sure you put my name out there first again. So twice at your last meeting, it's kind of like you were targeting me. And I just wanted you to know that, especially with the petition, it was simply to help you guys. And I know you made a motion to have the attorney spend, you thought, $1,000 to draft a petition to detach. I've not heard anything more on it. And we're hoping that you do pursue that.
We can't talk about it tonight, Bonnie, but it certainly is in the back of our minds. That's what I'll say about it, but we can't talk about it, it's not on the agenda. But we are going to work on it, but she's been so busy down there at the other end of the table, nothing else can get done. That's all I can say about it.
Well, I hope you do pursue it, because a lot of these people really want that tax money, which you said at the budget meeting was going to be $20,000 or more, should start coming back to us since we need the money in our budget. So that's all I had to say. Thank you.
I know we can't talk about it, I just want to say, we weren't discrediting you. That
Well,
wasn't the intent.
Yeah, at the time though, because I was not here, I was sick at the time, but I saw the video thanks to.
Just based on the wording, but we were
Yeah.
not trying to discredit anybody.
Okay.
Mary Beth
Thank you.
Stripp?
So my comment is concerning the mowing, specifically in front of our house. My husband and I, maintain the right-of-way, or whatever you want to call it, the ditch area, we mow it. So we were a little bit taken aback when the mowing occurred on Marsh Road, and they went, we mowed probably 4 or 5 feet, up to the tree line area, that they had to go further and, I don't know, brush hog or whatever you want to know what they did, shred some, several small saplings that are in there. Other areas were not mowed at all because they were behind a sign and so forth. It looked like crap. So ruts in the, in the area. So I just want to know, do you guys, when you look at the invoices, do you know when you say to them, go ahead and mow, if you know a general price? Because it just seems like there's excessive. time, because they could have just gone right by our house and not spent any time there.
I appreciate that, Mary, but I'm not gonna respond to it, but Ron certainly can when it gets to his part of the program.
Okay, fine.
Thank you. Stacy Massey?
Hi, Stacy Massey on South Shore Drive. First question, can a resident request to be added to the agenda?
No, basically, certainly you can make that request to the town board, but ultimately it is up to the town board to decide what is put on the agenda, so it's at their discretion.
How does a resident request to be added to the agenda?
There has to be a subject, am I correct?
Right, and it has to be of reasonable specification as to what exactly you want added to the agenda.
Should a resident's expectation when they send a request to be added to the agenda receive a response from the town board?
It depends on what you were requesting.
So for example, I sent a request to Frank
Okay,
and Michelle
well,
and didn't receive a response, and then I sent a second request to all three members and Michelle, didn't receive, and put the lawyer on there, didn't receive a response. Then I was told I couldn't be added to the agenda. So how does a town resident ask questions?
Okay, very simply put, one more time. To be added to the agenda, there has to be a topic, just like what we have here tonight.
Okay, so
There has to be a topic specific, and that is the only topic that can be talked about on the agenda.
okay, so why didn't you respond and say that?
Michelle, did you respond to her?
She said she didn't have authority to add it to the
I was trying to
agenda.
remember, yes, that's exactly what I said, you're correct.
And also, we ran out of time and we had the agenda made out already.
No, you didn't, sir. It was 2 days
Don't
before the
argue with
agenda
me.
was
I'm not
posted.
gonna argue with you.
Okay, okay. So my next question, can a resident send questions to the town board via email?
yes, and I don't know, but certainly you can
Okay,
send questions.
what should the expectation be for that town resident when she asks questions? Should a response be given?
Typically,
So if a response isn't given, is there a recourse for that resident to ask questions?
Come to a meeting.
Can't ask questions. Right.
And public comment.
Okay, moving on, so,
Well,
The next-
let me
yep, yep.
let me ask you a question based on your prior one.
Yep.
From what I understand, you also came in and talked to Michelle, but weren't willing to share the subject that you wanted to add to the,
no,
so what's?
no, that's not what happened.
Can I finish now?
Yep,
So if you want to be added to the agenda, we're more than willing and are always open to suggestions, okay? That's where a lot of our agenda items come from, not
Right.
just from the three of us or the five of us, whatever. So we're always open,
okay.
always. We are extremely transparent with our residents and everything. I think everybody can concur that our transparency is far greater than any time in the past.
Not in my experience.
Can I finish?
Yep.
Thank you. All we request is if you're wanting to be on, well, I shouldn't say all we want. What I'm looking for, what I personally would look for, is, okay, what's the subject? So that we can get it on the agenda like Frank said. And then certainly we'll take a look at it.
So
A
what,
lot of it is timing, when is it put in? And, we have schedules and lives outside of here as well. So
Right.
it's never our intent to ignore somebody.
okay. I felt ignored, just to put that out there. Next question.
Can I stop for a second, because
Yep.
I did respond to you.
You did after the third email?
I had received 2 from you,
Right.
the one that
No,
I
but the
received,
first one went just to Frank.
which is
and
why I
Chairman.
wouldn't have received it. So
Right,
the
but I'm
first-
saying my third request.
So be it, the first email that I received from you, I responded to.
You absolutely did, and I
Within
thank you.
24 hours.
Yes, you did.
And exactly what these 2 folks also said is your email didn't specify a subject. Quite frankly, I had no idea who you were,
Right.
right? So if you have a business license, if you have whatever
I
it
put
might
my
be.
address in the email.
Right, but I don't. Sure, you're right. I understand that. My point is that I followed up with you on the second email that you responded back, and I said, feel free to call me if you have questions.
That
So
was-
to answer your question,
The email received today.
that was Saturday.
Okay.
You responded back Saturday. You asked if I was available before the meeting tonight, and I said that I wasn't this morning when I responded to you again. So the
Right.
email correspondence, at least for me,
I
not
agree,
even gonna,
and I thanked you.
right,
Thank
but you can call us too. If you've got general questions, call us, right? I mean,
So my
that's gonna-
general question was, how do I get added to the agenda? And I didn't receive a response. Okay, next question. Our town, can the questions be sent to town board members and then answered at the town meeting? So ahead of time, so you guys can prepare? Would you prefer that?
I'm not
It
sure.
has to be
It
on
has to be on the agenda,
agenda.
so basically, the best process would be to contact one of the board members with specific questions about what you want addressed. And then each one of them can make that determination if they believe that should be something that should be addressed on the agenda at a town board meeting.
Okay,
So
so,
being specific as to what you want to address is kind of the main point.
okay. Are town meetings recorded?
Yes.
Okay? When are town board meeting recordings posted?
They are not posted.
Okay, so they're recorded but not for public record.
They're a public record,
You just have to ask.
but we don't record it. I mean, we don't post it. We
Okay.
don't have
Why?
an ability to do it right now.
I thought, wasn't there recordings on the town? I thought there was recordings on the.
That was a
page.
privately
Private, okay.
privately recorded, put on YouTube, yes.
Okay, okay.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
Nope.
please.
No, please.
Now, hold on,
have 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
we're going to move on now.
Does everyone at the town meeting get to vote, or only town members?
We're going to move on, please.
I wouldn't mind answering that one, Frank. It's a simple question.
They're all
Right,
simple
isn't it?
questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Repeat the question, please.
Does everyone in the town get a vote, or only town members?
On correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan, on issues that are on the board, on the agenda, the town board votes. Your vote would be in the elections.
For the town members,
If you,
for the town
if you
board?
disagree with what we vote on, you're, as a resident, would be vote in the elections whether you want us on the board or not.
Okay,
But yes, we vote, as elected officials to do this, we vote on the issues at hand.
so like when you guys are discussing having mowing for the whole town, do we get a vote on that?
Other than the budget meeting that was held a couple of weeks ago, where the town electors, which would be the residents of
Right.
the town, that is when the town, there's essentially two meetings. An annual town meeting, which is held in the spring, April something, whatever date it is,
Right?
and then for the budget hearing process. Those are the two resident votes aside from general elections. Otherwise, it's the board that votes.
Okay,
Did you know that it,
That's-
according to Wisconsin
okay,
statute, that it's the property resident,
that's it.
it's the
we're moving on.
property owner's responsibility?
Chief, this continues, I can't continue the meeting. Okay, do you understand?
Okay.
Force that, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, reports, treasurer, please.
All right. We currently have, after payment of bills tonight, $18,164.11 in our general checking account, $2,548.32 in our tax account. The airport, as of today, has $37,831.11 in our account. Our local government investment pool account has $88,416 in it. We had transferred $60,000 into it last week. And just for informational purposes, the current interest rate on that account is 4.72%.
7.42?
Did I say, oh, yeah, it's
4.72.
4.72. And that sums it up unless anyone has a question.
Clerk?
As you all know, that people are circulating papers right now for the board seats, which are up for election on April 1st of next year. The circulators have to have them turned in by the first Tuesday in January, 5 p.m. And it's imperative that anyone who wants to run does not circulate papers to get signatures without filing the first initial paperwork with me in the office. Otherwise, I'll have to strike all of those signatures and they won't be able to count. And to date, if anyone's interested, Town Chairperson Frank Sauter is up for election and he has filed to circulate papers. He's actually turned them all in already. And Stacy Massey has already also registered to run for that office. Rob Martins is up for election for Supervisor 1 position. He has taken out papers to circulate as well. And Supervisor 2, Josh Gajewski, is up for election. And that's the status of that.
Highway. Ron?
I am Ron Bennett, and most people that come to the meetings all the time know me. Up until like 4 months ago, I was always here. Bob was one of the lead foremen for Northwest Service. I come to every single meeting, so if you had trenches in your ditch, maybe you could have said something, but I will now come out and look at it and see. And as far as telling you, I'm not in that machine cutting. I don't know why I took down the tree, but I know there'll be a reason. It's the same guy that's been doing it. We take care of 8 townships. We take care of everything for 5 townships. We're very wise on what we do. I see that, I didn't look at Facebook, but I know that people are saying stuff on Facebook. That is fine. I always figure that if somebody doesn't know quite what they're saying on Facebook and you answer to the Facebook, then you look as bad as what they do when they answer. Okay? So when I'm saying that you had that, my first thought when I came here was I wanted to talk to whoever it was, because I didn't know it was you and I've seen you many times, that I will definitely come out and look at that. And then I will look to see where you're talking about this tree, and I'll see if there was a buckthorn in there, some kind of invasive something.
It was an oak tree. It was a small little oak tree.
Yeah,
that
but
be-
if it's
that's
within,
in
if
between
it's
the other
within the
trees.
roadway, and they're
It's
told to
not.
clean it, if it's, well, 33 feet center line, now that is an estimate too though, because a road doesn't necessarily have to go down the middle of these. Most
It
of
just, you know, it was all mowed and they probably went another foot around, you know, bigger trees and so forth that didn't need to
Well,
happen.
let's,
And never has happened ever
let's
before.
set a time and let's me and you look at it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it and I'll see if there's, you know, what we're talking about, and if there's any kind of trench, I'll take care of that.
It was just where the
I
wheels,
always-
it was just where the wheels went off the road.
Right, and we
into
always
it.
take care of everything. I answer everybody. There's a lot of
Okay.
people here that have dealt with me. Like I said, I work for a whole bunch of towns.
No, I
I go to a lot of meetings. I go an average 5 for sure a month, up to 8 a month.
And, you know,
Villages.
when you screwed up, you know, the snow plowing on the edges, yeah, you guys came out and that's fine.
No, that's not screwing up. That's called snow plowing.
Well,
That's when you plow.
whatever,
No,
however
but
you wanna call
state-
it, but.
You gotta state that right though, because that, to people out here that don't know what you're saying and what's on this film
Okay.
right now, that's not screwing up. I'm driving something that's 22 feet wide on
I-
an 18-foot road and I'm
don't
cleaning it as fast as I
disagree.
can for you.
When you take out a mailbox thing, you know you're plowing.
Well, and just thought, as you mentioned that,
And you've taken our vote
in,
too. so-
in all the mailboxes, yeah, but we've taken down 3 mailboxes last
Okay.
year. And we do Waterloo now, which is one of the most difficult places to do. The first time they had anybody do it, when we did it, never took down a mailbox all year. The guy before us took down 14 in one trip. All that matters is it heavy and wet. This last stuff, which was only 3 inches tall,
I get it.
when we went by mailboxes in the ride, knocks them down.
I'm just saying
I'm
that
not
it
on
seemed,
that. I'm
it-
sorry, I'm not on that.
it just seemed
I'm trying to answer some of the
excessive.
questions with people.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
My
Whatever
phone
else you want.
number's available though. Anybody wants to call me?
No,
Josh
Josh told us
Yeah,
not to call
ju-
you directly, we have to call
Just
him.
for clarity's sake.
Okay.
I did ask that if residents have complaints about mowing, plowing, whatever it be, that they contact a board member so that the town is, I'll say the subcontractee rather than the order portion of that.
Okay, that's fine.
That we know, you know,
But if you
28
contact
of
them
them
and they
got
talk to
their
me,
own
I'll
stuff.
be there.
I will send a note, I will send an email to Josh, who then you can
And I'm
contact.
available.
You can
I start
contact
at
us.
5:30 in the morning.
Yes,
and I'm
fine.
available
Okay,
till
let's
5.
keep moving. Anything else, Ron?
That's it.
I will say this much, we did one hell of a good job brushing the Little Prairie Road where the head-on car accident was, and the pedestrian got struck up there, up past Egan's. A heck of a good job, and the boss out of the DNR said the same thing, so. What's his name, Mike, out there?
Yep.
Tried to make it as safe as possible out there, so, great job. Okay, where are we? Fire department.
Yes, sir. We had 26 runs or calls for service last month. 19 were EMS calls in the village of Palmyra. 5 were EMS calls in the town. We had 1 vehicle accident that required fire ending mess in the town. And we had 1 call for service that was mutual aid to Delavan. The dry hydrant has been repaired, replaced, and is all up and running. The previous one was cracked and plugged full, so not usable, so thank you guys for moving that in a positive direction, so that's all been back in service.
They got the coupler or whatever put out, no, or whatever.
Good, thanks.
Well, that's great to hear.
Mike, when will you have us the updated stats
Yep.
through November? Calls,
You want more than what I just gave you?
well, you always send us a form.
Oh, okay, I'll
The actual
email it out
document.
to you tomorrow, sure.
And how soon in January would we have the year end?
About January 3rd.
Okay, so early on,
Yeah.
before our meeting. All right,
Sure.
sounds good, thanks.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Thank you very much, sir. Airport, nothing really to report on the airport except, last I knew, the new hangar project is moving forward. The conditional use permit was approved, and as far as I know, they got a building permit for it. And whatever happens next, of course, we're getting cold weather now, so who knows what's gonna happen there. Blue Spring Lake District.
Okay, I want to update everybody on the key issue at the Blue Spring Lake right now is the potential ordinance for restricting wake boats. The committee that was set up, the bipartisan committee that was set up for the wake boat issue, came back 7-5 approving or recommending approval of the ordinance to the Lake District Board. The Lake District Board held a informational and advisory vote this past Saturday. Of the residents, 79 residents came to the meeting, which is a little under 50%, I believe. And of those that could vote, much higher percentage of those that could vote, I'm talking total residents. The vote was 74-5 in favor of the ordinance restricting wake boat, not banning them, just restricting the, their use of the ballast tanks and fins and things like that to create the artificial wakes. So it was overwhelmingly in favor of the ordinance. The board voted 4-2 to approve the ordinance. The next step is the Lake District will present that to our clerk to send to the DNR for their advisory feedback on the ordinance. It's an ordinance that has, I think the figure was 33 other municipalities have approved the exact same ordinance word for word. So the DNR has seen this many times. We don't necessarily anticipate, or the Lake District doesn't anticipate anything major coming out of that, but whatever comes back from the DNR, it's advisory, but will certainly be taken into account. So the Lake District, they're meeting tonight as well. They'll be at some point very soon, I'm sure, be presenting it to Michelle to send to the DNR. There's timing around it, I don't remember the exact dates. I think it's, once it's submitted, the DNR has 20 days to respond back. And then then it's 60 days from the DNR's response before the town, before it would potentially come to this board to vote on. So that's where we're at right now. So it looks like it could potentially, if it gets this far, would be sometime early in 2025. So that's all I have, Frank.
Thank you very much, sir. And Madam Building Inspector down there, how do you do?
There were 2 building permits applied for during the month of October. One was an electrical and one was an addition of a 3-season room And the electrical project was $4,459 in cost. The three-season room was $90,350. That's it.
Okay, emergency management plan, oh, that's the chief over there, and anything new on emergency management in the area?
There's a new person for the county. County's communicated with us. We have some training that they're going to put on. They're trying to schedule classes after the first of the year for the village and town officials, which will then move it into coming up with a full written plan between the town. We'll have to do their part, we'll have to do our part in the village and put them together. So sometime after the first of the year, I anticipate, I apologize, I can't remember the young lady's name that's now in charge, but she's been working with us and they've slated the classes that are available.
Okay, keep me up to date on that.
Will do, sir.
Thank you. Well, how about the sheriff's report back there? Sheriff, how are you?
Good, how are we all doing tonight?
All right. Okay, now you can speak. Last week you couldn't, or last month, rather, yeah.
No problem at all. So, just want to introduce myself to everyone. So my name is Travis Mays. I'm the Sheriff of Jefferson County, your sheriff. I got appointed 4 months ago by the governor. So I took over for Sheriff Palmyra, who retired after about just shy of 44 years at the sheriff's office. 23 of those as being sheriff himself. So I do have a baby face. I can tell you that my wife makes fun of me all the time for having a baby face, but I'm 47 years old. I'm actually 2 years older than Paul Milbrath was when he first was sheriff. So, but I've been at the agency, it'll be 26 years in January. So I've worked my way up through the ranks. I was an intern back in the day for them, then I was a jail deputy and a patrol deputy and a detective, a supervisor on patrol and a sergeant standpoint, and from a patrol captain as well too. So pretty much a lifelong resident here. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me at the office. Sorry about that. So I've been in the county for 44 years. So I've lived in many different areas. So I'm real familiar with it. I'm a local guy and very approachable. So if you got along with Paul and easygoing, nothing's really going to change from that standpoint. So.
I do have a couple questions. You and I discussed a couple things.
Yes, sir.
First of all, we know you're short-staffed, down to about 50%, right?
Yeah, right now I'm 32% across the board for my jail staff and for my patrol staff.
Okay. Let's talk about enforcing town ordinances.
So, enforcing town ordinances. The sheriff's office is allowed to enforce town ordinances. The sheriff's office hasn't taken the stance of enforcing town ordinances because I've got 16 townships and I've got 2 villages, Johnson Creek, that we look at taking care of in the evening hours and on the weekends, and the village of Sullivan as well. So for our deputies to try to keep track of all 16 townships and the hundreds, if not thousands of ordinances that come into play with that, there's no way that we're able to do that. So we have just taken that stance. If we do find a common problem that's happening over and over in a township, we would rather work with the town officials to try to come up with a solution for it. Talking to you all about what ordinance you might have and what remedies you all might have to be able to do that. We have typically not taken the stance of doing that just because we have state statutes that we're trying to enforce. It's the majority of our enforcement is state statutes. We have some county ordinances that we have to enforce as well from a zoning standpoint, and even our parking issues that we have. And then to get down into the township ordinances, we just, I'll be honest with you, we don't have the mental capacity to kind of store all that information in there and keep track of everything, because there are all the townships in the whole county that we have, so 16 plus.
Does anybody else have questions for the sheriff?
Are you guys gonna add the village of Palmyra to patrol after 21-125?
They're currently patrolling Saturdays and Sundays, and then Monday through Friday after 5 p.m. Till 7 a.m.
So, and that'll be the thing too, like if we get a call, we'll handle it under emergency emergency calls that come into play. But if there is an ordinance issue that happens with the village, we'll defer it back to the chief, and they can be doing it when they have an individual that's on duty at that point in time.
I will add, just so the town is aware of it, that the sheriff's department, their supervisor is down on the lowest level up to the sheriff. We constantly talk, and they are communicating with us when there is issues within the town that could affect our village, or in our village that could affect the town. We work with the deputies, so simply put, there's no secrets between the two, and we work together. And I think it's a pretty good relationship.
Definitely, sir.
Anything else?
No, thanks for your service and thanks for coming to the meeting. You and your deputies are always welcome here. And
Sure, thank you, I really appreciate it. So, you guys stack up the meetings sometimes, so is it all right if I get out of here and try to get up to water tower?
Please, there you go, please.
No, I won't speed though.
Sure you won't.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you too, chief. Okay, moving on, I guess, okay, correspondence.
We have had a couple of open records requests this month.
And who would that be?
One was from Stacy Massey, and another one was from Winona Radzik.
Thank you. Anything else?
Tax bill time? You wanna touch
Oh,
on that?
yes, I'm sorry, forgot about that. I got a call today that the tax bills are ready to be picked up, but once we go there, there is a report that is included with the tax bills. We have to check to make sure different numbers balance. If they do, we'll be sending them out. It'll take us a couple days, and if not, we'll have to fix whatever the problem is and delay a little bit. Should be a couple of days.
That it then?
Yeah.
Okay, new business, number one, discussion and possible action on Town of Jefferson's request to reimburse them for $90 of the cost of sending a representative from Northwest Services to Sno-Fighters training. Want to tell us a little about that, Ron?
I have nothing to do with that. That's all I got to say. The town, when I went, I've gone to, you guys don't know that, but I'm really good with the county, I can call them up and get temperature of the road, everything else. Well, whenever there's any school, they know I'll go to anything. So I'm always good.
But you
And it
didn't-
just so happened that the town of Jefferson found out that I was going, and they felt that all the towns should pitch in. And I found that out after she sent it out to everybody. That was Tina. Very sweet of her to do.
That's correct, I've got the email.
Very sweet of her to do and everything, but I didn't ask for anybody to pay for it. I mean, I've gone to brine classes, I've gone to chainsaw classes, I sent every single person other than my secretary to chainsaw class. So I'm serious, every single person, plus my special needs son. So when people are out there, I'm teaching everybody to be as safe as they can possibly be and do the correct job, period. And that's why I go to schooling all the time. And I think it's because we do so much with so many different towns and all the towns communicate. And I think that she just felt that she was gonna put that out there, so I did not do it. I did not ask for $90.
So do all of the other trainings you mentioned that you and your people have been to, has Northwest paid for all that training?
I always pay for all our training.
So this is the first time
Yes.
something like this has come up?
It's my understanding the rest of the towns already did it just like that, or what?
The rest of the towns have already committed to pay 1/5 of the fee.
My concern on this is it sets a precedent. If this has never come up before, and I'm not trying to be a $90, but it's still the constituents' money. And if this has not come up before and Northwest Services paid this, I guess I would take the position that it's part of their services that they provide, that they be retained, that they be trained, they do that. And I would hate to think what the precedent we set by this is done now. Does every training get split between all the towns? I'd rather not open that can of worms.
I've never seen it before.
And I didn't, like I said, I didn't ask. I want that perfectly clear. And I actually told her when she said it, that she had done it, but I said, I have no problem paying for my own classes.
Motion to deny the request from the Town of Jefferson to reimburse them $90 from Northwest Services attending the Sno-Fighters training.
Second.
Any further discussion? So I guess we'll ask all in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? You want to signify for paying, okay, no, that's right, okay, aye. Motion's carried. Getting confused for a second. Number 2, update on fall and tree problems experienced in the town throughout the year. Now, that's one reason I asked this fine gentleman come to the meeting that's sitting next to me tonight, because we would like to come up with some way to solve some of the financial problem with it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But we can't just leave trees laying on the roadway for people to run into, which has already happened this year in the township of Palmyra. Can you elaborate a little bit, Attorney, on who's responsible, especially when it goes down, on the roadway itself?
Sure, yeah. So the relevant statute there would be Wisconsin Statute 86.03. Basically what that says is that if any tree falls from the adjacent land into a highway or roadway, the owner or occupant of that land shall be immediately responsible for removing the tree from the highway. Now, of course, that doesn't always happen, and or the landowner isn't able to do it quick enough. So if the landowner fails to act promptly, then the duty falls on the public authority responsible for maintaining the roadway to clear that debris. So that would be either a highway patrolman, street commissioners, or whatever official for the town that would be responsible for ensuring that the public right-of-way is safe and restore the road back to being accessible. Now, and to my knowledge, I don't believe that the town has any such ordinance in effect, but public authorities are authorized to recover removal costs for any encroachments, including like a fallen tree that has gone into the roadway. A lot of municipalities do have their own ordinances on how to address that and how to appropriately bill landowners where the tree may have fallen from, and how to impose those special charges. So in the event, and I'm just kind of making up numbers here, the town could basically set, an hourly fee as to how long it takes for the removal of a tree that has fallen in the roadway. Let's say $20 per hour with a minimum of $20. I'm just making up numbers, but certainly a lot of municipalities have these ordinances to address, especially if my understanding is Palmyra has had a lot of debris falling into roadways, and it's become a bit of a burden on them financially. So that would be, I guess, one thing that the town could consider is enacting an ordinance to govern tree removal and associated costs.
But without an ordinance, we are able to bill them back even without an ordinance based on state statute?
According to the state statute, now I would have to look, again, I started looking into this today, so I could look a little bit further into as to what the process would be as far as doing special assessments without an ordinance, but yes.
Okay.
What the village does is, I'll give you a good example. It's still all taken care of. Calkins Road. That's the villages. We own land, the town, on part of the east side, kind of in the middle. We had the tornado. Stuff from the west side of the road went down. The village is right out there at 2:33 in the morning, just like I was, and cutting it up, pushing it over in the ditch. And then I asked Scott, when are you gonna pick it up? We don't pick it up, it's the owner's responsibility. So eventually they sent Mr. Wilson, Bob, and Standard Process a letter about mowing the ditch and cleaning it up. Bob did a heck of a job of cleaning it up, he tore everything all right down the, I believe that, but it's really something, we've driven there for 64 years, you know what I'm saying, and don't see that anymore, but we gotta come up with something. A 30-day notice, something, if we just push it off the road, out of the, at least off the roadway and somewhat away from the highway portion of the road. And explain that to them too, that the roadway, if you read the statute, consists of 66 feet, generally, but not always. Sometimes it's 49 and a half, I believe, feet. Ron or
Four
Josh.
rod
correct
and
me.
6 rod, yes, we
Yeah.
got that.
So, there are probably some old town roads in Palmyra where it is 49 and a half
Dead
feet
ends.
without researching that.
10th is one.
Is it? Okay, but generally speaking, it's 66 feet. That's what you're supposed to go by if you read down through these statutes. So, we're responsible to keep that clear somehow. Get it off the road, let the people know. Michelle gets a letter, went down on her property. You send her, you got 30 days to get that cleaned up. If you don't, Ron's gonna come over there and clean it up. And he's gonna tell me it costs $580, and she's gonna get the bill for it, right? And if she doesn't pay it, it's put on her taxes, is that correct?
That's correct. That would be a special assessment.
Well, we need to look into something like that. Would you agree over there, John? Something like that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we talked about this at a few meetings ago, and needing to do something on this. Just with everything else going on, we haven't gotten back to it, but certainly at this point, after everything that happened in '23 and this year, we do need to do something.
Didn't we already do something by paying Northwest Services for all this cleanup?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
Didn't the town already do something by paying,
Well, sure, we had to pay to have it done, yes.
but according to Wisconsin statute, if town was not
Point of
responsible.
order, this is not a public comment section.
The town was
Okay.
never responsible
Okay,
for any of it.
please let the board run the meeting now.
Just giving you knowledge.
So from the standpoint of a road, a tree, there's three different things here. One is, we've got platted roads. Again, we talked about that, Parkview Circle, Martin subdivision is actually platted, it's 66 feet wide and it's dedicated to the town of Palmyra. We also have easemented roads or inherited easements where there's no documentation whatsoever. So if a road is, let's say a right-of-way is 66 feet wide, 4-rod road, 33 feet from the center line, and a tree falls down in it, you're telling me that the town has absolutely no responsibility to clean up a tree that's fallen in a road?
They do have the responsibility to clean that up.
So the
Yes.
town does have to clean up the trees.
At the cost of the owner.
Excuse me.
Okay, ma'am, you can't just keep interrupting the board.
So if a tree, like 85% of them did this year, falls into a road, blocks the road, we've got two choices. We can close the road until someone cleans the tree up, or we clean the tree up, and you're saying that we can bill that cost back to an owner, even if they were not notified?
Correct.
Even if they weren't notified?
With,
Tree fall, 2 o'clock in the morning, Tower Road, tree falls over, blocks the middle of the road. We call Northwest out to clean the tree up from the road. You're saying we can directly bill that cost without notice to a landowner
You better double check.
to restore,
Emergency situations.
correct, cause that's three different pieces of the puzzle here, right? Like, we did this on Young Road out by the cemetery. It fell into the road, we cut it off the road to a point of safety, let's call it. And then we notified the cemetery and said, hey, the rest of this is yours, right? Versus, the ordinance that everybody is referring to doesn't refer directly to an emergency situation, a la billing that cost out, because we don't have a local ordinance. The difference is that from the village's standpoint, they have adopted an ordinance that said that residents are responsible to maintain, quote, the terrace, which is from the edge of the asphalt all the way up to their property line. They've got that ordinance in place, point blank period. So in the Calkins Road example, they have a local ordinance saying, we're cleaning the pavement, you're cleaning the rest of it. We don't have that, and that's why I'm trying to clarify, and I don't necessarily need an answer tonight to put you on the spot. But in a situation where it's impeding traffic, we had, during the tornado, we had 14 roads closed at one point in time. If we then if it's egg land, you write them a letter. I mean, we don't have phone numbers for every resident in the town of Palmyra, so what do? You write them a letter, and then it gets there a week later, and then they've got 30 days from that, you know. The town of Palmyra would have been closed from August through December of 2023. And I don't know, aside from having an ordinance and a fee schedule that says, you know, $250 an hour, or whatever it is what's gonna be charged to you if you don't do it, but there has to be that notice period as far as.
I thought I read something where you had to notify them. I thought in those statutes there was a notification, so let's.
Yeah, I'll check the statutes to see what,
It says something about.
proper notice is
Yeah.
required before any sort of special assessment is, given to a property owner.
But let's work on this. Let's have you start working and looking at this.
I mean, even for snow clearing of sidewalks, I mean, there's a notice period. The resident or the owner, or however you wanna look at it, has to be notified of quote, said deficiency, whatever that is, from everything that 22 years has taught me, that you can't just go do it and then send them a bill. So we would have to make a decision as a board. Are we gonna close the highway, or, you know, are we gonna spend $5 grand and go buy barricades and just leave the roads closed until it gets cleaned up? And see what happens, or are we gonna, do we have to, first of all, which I think the answer is yes, the pavement portion of the road we have to maintain. Because this goes into a bigger thing, in my own mind. If the right-of-way doesn't have to be maintained by the town, then we can essentially create an ordinance for everyone in town that says you have to keep your grass cut to within a foot all season long. And if you don't, then we're gonna have somebody else go out and do it. Which means there's gonna be a whole lot of area that we need to hire another staff person to be able to maintain that.
Ron, do you know
Because
if
there's no way in the grand scheme of things, if the town of Palmyra has 37 miles of road, you're talking about 74 miles of lane mile right of way to maintain, and we don't have staff, period. Michelle is our staff, you know, we don't have a highway department. Those are all of the things that go along with the bigger picture of this whole thing. And at the same point, you know, if people mow their lawn, let's say within 3 foot of the road, or other people don't, we've got a lot of state-owned land that we then have to notify them, hey, by the way, if you don't go out and cut the right-of-way, you know, there's a whole different thing of dealing with special charges against the state versus a local entity. For mowing lawn, cutting trees, what, you know what I'm saying, like, there's dollar value thresholds that go with all of these things, that a knee-jerk reaction for one may cascade into other things when we start talking about right-of-way maintenance.
I agree with that. I believe it's approximately 25% of the town is in a manner of speaking, non-taxable. It's all DNR land. I think it's about 25%. So now, tree falls down over here on Little Prairie Road on both sides, going out of town. What are we gonna do, send the DNR?
I thought we had the ability to do that.
Yes, you do.
How are you gonna make the DNR pay?
Okay, we're running the meeting up here, ladies.
That's part of why we're talking about it. So, one thing we need to look into is how we go about billing the DNR back for their side of it.
Well,
The easy ones are, call it easy, whatever. We talked about during one of the 12 budget workshops we had, is if we get to a point, which we now can do financially, is to look at the roads we're doing road work on, or any other road, whatever. And we talked about spring, we do spring road tours, is to do spring tree tours. And anything by May that doesn't have something green growing out of it, you know, are we gonna notify them ahead of time so that we don't have what happened last year from God knows how many years, who knows, you know?
I agree.
Jonathan, can you also look into, for us, some other town's ordinances for us to review?
Absolutely. And that's always a good resource, 'cause
I was gonna ask Ron, do you know of any other towns?
What I know of one town, how they do it is they go to 33 feet, they chop it off, they take everything from there, they leave that section of it. But if it's deemed dangerous, then it's put into an emergency mode, they have to get it out in a certain amount of time. Because like Jefferson had on South Helensville, they had a tree that went down, they cut it off only to that certain feet, but it was aimed straight at a intersection, a road turn, where if a car lost control, it pierced through the window and stuff. Stuff like that, they immediately, that goes into emergency mode, you gotta cut it off. But if it's stuff that's laying lengthwise with it, and you can cut everything off and leave the other out of the road right away, then that's just left.
And on that subject, gentlemen, you know, cause I get all the calls on this, you know, literally I've had people call, the tree's gonna go over, somebody's gonna get killed, you know? And I get 3 or 4 people calling me and telling me that, and I don't act on it, get something done with it, something happens, town's paying, right?
No, it's the property owner.
Ma'am,
It's.
ma'am, that's it.
You asked him for input, I can provide input. There's case law.
He's
You've
the
been
one,
warned in the meeting, this isn't a meeting, the
Okay.
rules follow. If you're warned again, you'll be asked to leave the meeting.
Okay.
You are different than a board member, all right? I understand your concern,
Why was he
However,
allowed to give input and I'm not?
because he was asked by the board to be here on the agenda, and he has a different role than just as a resident of the community.
Okay.
I will be more than happy to address that with you in private if you want me to go over the statutory parts of it.
I would love to.
The board chairman has asked you to be quiet,
Okay,
it needs to stop.
thank you.
that's it on this subject then, or what?
Well, let's recap. You're gonna look into a bunch of stuff for us. I think, well,
yes, so right now I have, as far as looking into what proper notice is needed, as far as special charges, how to build the DNR back for costs associated with debris cleanup, and then look into other ordinances around the state that might be similar to what you would be looking to adopt, potentially.
Josh, anything else?
Nope.
Number 3, discussion and possible direction regarding shoulder damage to the work recently completed on Little Prairie Road. Okay, I've had a couple complaints from people that go out there every day or live there, etc. We did re-shoulder the road, but it's starting to wear away already again, or wash away, whatever. Josh, what's your thoughts on that?
Went out, looked at it a couple different times, a few things. Layman's observation is that we have had at least one snowfall yet this year, and there's some winged off shoulder material in the grass, which may be what people are saying. There's essentially 3 spots that there's some deterioration versus when it was installed. Unfortunately, we didn't get shouldered until, I wanna say it was early part of September. We didn't get a whole lot of heat to help lock that in. I don't know that there's a whole lot of water-based erosion, quite frankly. Watched the mailman, or mail person, drive down the edge of the shoulder of the road, which I think is part of where we're seeing what we're seeing. The other part, like I said, is to me the interpretive plowing procedure. So at this point, hopefully, no offense, hopefully it rains more in December than it snows. But in the grand scheme of things, we're gonna have to monitor it in the springtime and see where we stand. I did talk with Farner and also Thunder Road, August, I'm gonna say, before the work was even done, about some additional things that we can do. I know Ron also has some hot pot capabilities too, if we get to the springtime, see where we're at, potentially blade and grade those 3 spots and spray them with emulsified asphalt, essentially the base layer of what chip sealing is. They're doing it talked to actually 2 different people at WISDOT as well, and they're doing it more and more around US highway and freeway guardrails, where there's a gravel shoulder that is almost impossible to maintain for them. After they're installed new during a road reconstruction project, they're going back over them, and they're actually either just doing emulsified or physically like hand chip